AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. Now, this could be interesting. No. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Musa. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Heath Schroyer in studio with us in 30 minutes, I promise. David DeLucci in hour number 3. Tigers get a baseball series win. We got an LSU football practice report. NFL owners meetings going on. Kellen Moore met with reporters, but you know there's only one place where we're starting, so let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Man, this was a day that many, Will Wade by his own admission included, never thought 4 years ago would have been possible. But here we are. Will Wade reintroduced on Monday as the LSU men's basketball coach, and he began his press conference by explaining why he returned to Baton Rouge.
Very excited to be here. Great to see so many familiar faces. Great to have our students here, a lot of our alums, family, friends, supporters. You know, look, this is deeply personal for me to be back here and to celebrate with all you guys here today. I can't even express in words what Dr. Roos and just the administration, everybody has meant to me, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be back.
This was, for much of this episode, this event, more pep rally than press conference. If you didn't see it, we got lots of videos all over social media. The LSU drumline came out with a with Mike the Tiger dressed as the General Wade in his general outfit. Whenever Will Wade was introduced, they played a hype video for it. He came out. There were flames and smoke going in the air as Mumford & Sons blared. They also played Eminem. Guess who's back? Back again. Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's back. I mean, everything you can imagine about coming back. Guess who's back? All those songs blared throughout the PMAC as I would guess roughly 1,000 people were at this press conference today. My estimates aren't always accurate, but there were floor seats for media. You had the mayor of East Baton Rouge Parish, Mayor President Sid Edwards was there. Of course, all of the LSU administrators, LSU coaches, members of the Board of Supervisors, boosters were there today. Friends of the program, former LSU players were there today. I saw Antonio Hudson. I saw Harold Boudreaux. Tyrus Thomas was there today. Lots of members of the current staff. Tasman Mitchell, Ronald Dupree were there. You had a section for students set off to the side where they were given Wade Brigade boot-up shirts. You had fans in the stands as well. And some joked that there might have been more people there today for this press conference than the final game of Matt McMahon's time at LSU because obviously this program has fallen on really hard times. But before this came, when we were here last week, I told you there was two things primarily, two reasons why Will Wade was returning. One was alignment from Governor Jeff Landry, Board Chairman Lee Mallett, President Wade Roos, Verge Osbury, and then obviously bringing Heath Schroyer over from McNeese, and the other, the LSU fans, the people here, those two things. And Will Wade wasted no time checking those boxes, and he started with his thank yous and listened to who he thanked.
There's too many people to thank for making this happen, but I want to first off thank our governor, Jeff Landry. I want to thank our wonderful LSU board, many of who are here today, and our great chairman, Lee Mallett. I want to thank Dr. Roos, who I've worked with before. We're going to work well together again, get that alignment. We've got Heath Schroyer here, same chain of command as Doc likes to say, and certainly our wonderful athletic administration and everybody involved in the athletic administration.
I mean, he wasted no time checking every one of those boxes. If there were a prop bet like in the Super Bowl, will there be a catch over 20 yards? Like first play of the game, boom, quick slant, 20 yards. Dub, cash that ticket. Jeff Landry, Lee Mallett, Wade Roos, Heath Schroyer, and the athletic administration. Ding, 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 right there. Tells you the whole story. But the other part of it I told you was also the fact that this was an opportunity for Will Wade to come to a place that for him, embraced him, loved him, still, in spite of his departure and the way that it went, people have never stopped embracing Will Wade. And he said it as succinctly as he possibly could today.
Their belief in me and the belief in me that this is the right time to come home will never be forgotten. And make no mistake, this is home. I wasn't born in Louisiana, but Louisiana's home for me and me and my family.
I know some people nationally have pushed back on that because Will said in the graphic that he put out his thank you to NC State about how it was personal in Louisiana's home. And people have pointed out that he's from Tennessee and he coached at Chattanooga and coached at VCU and coached at Clemson. And he's been a lot of different places. And now at NC State, or was it NC State? But home doesn't necessarily have to be where you're from. I mean, Dale Brown's from Minot, North Dakota. You ask Dale Brown where his home is, he's going to tell you Baton Rouge. Skip Bertman he was born in Detroit, lived in Miami. He's from Baton Rouge. Like, home is Baton Rouge. I mean, this is just the way that this place sets the hook with a lot of people. And Will Wade and his family are among that group. So the opportunity to have his people at sort of his place is very telling. And for Will Wade, I've never held back on this, my affinity for him. I think both personally and professionally, love the guy. From a professional standpoint, I love content, right? I do a 3-hour daily show. I need things to talk about. That guy gives you things to talk about. Personally, I think he's hilarious. He's been very generous with his time. He's been professionally very courteous. I love how he'll take little digs, even sometimes self-deprecating, which he did sort of at the onset of his press conference today. Give a listen.
We're coming back to make history. We're going to make history one way or the other. We're coming back, like Dr. Roos said, to try to hang a banner, win a national championship, or I'm going to be the first coach fired from the same school twice. But one way or another, we're going to make history. And it's going to be a fun ride, one way or the other. Ain't no doubt about that.
Will Wade. I mean, he is uniquely himself and unapologetically as well. He was also asked about his departure from NC State and if he had any regrets. Again, a guy who's never shy from taking swipes when he can.
I long ago quit worrying about my perception. That part doesn't bother me too much. Look, here's what I'm going to say. I'd like to focus more on what's going on at LSU. NC State was great to me. I think some of the things have been mischaracterized on how I left. I learned long ago I'm not going to get into a back and forth on all of that. The people who need to know. And look, everybody has to, when there's a situation like this, everybody has to cover. Let's put it that way. I'm at peace with how I left. I'm at peace with what we did. And, look, I mean, they're pretty mad for a coach they didn't think was very good. So.
I mean, he says all the right things, all the things that would make you say, okay, this is a good answer. And then at the end, boom, punch you right in the nose. It's like he opens his arms so you walk in and give him a hug. And as soon as you get close enough, bam, bam! Just a sucker punch right in the nose. He's a beauty. That's why. Will Wade reintroduced as the LSU head men's basketball coach. He's got a lot to do. He's got to hire a staff. He said he'll have a shell recruiting staff in place by the beginning of next week when the portal opens on the 7th. Says they did not discuss numbers as far as roster budget, though did say there'll be some sticker shock this year, putting a first-year roster together. But the goal is to win national championships. And it's something that I know Will has always felt like was possible at LSU. Now, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if there's enough buy-in to get the resources to compete at that level at this place. But if there's one guy who could generate enough support to maximize resources for basketball at LSU to find out, he's the guy that was introduced on Monday at the Maravich Center. Will Wade, again, LSU head men's basketball coach. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. So if you're going to be celebrating the return of the General, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Crack open a couple of ice-cold, delicious Bud Lights and toast to Will Wade's return to Tiger Town. Of course, available at all your local retailers, restaurants, bars. Ask for it specifically. Pick up the officially licensed LSU bottle, the aluminum 16-ounce bottle or can. You got the national championship logo baseball bottles around town, so make sure you grab them. The delicious taste of Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, it's after further review, and we are glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, I will pivot, give you a little thought on LSU's baseball series win over Kentucky over the weekend. And then at the bottom of the hour here in about 18 minutes from right now, Heath Schroyer, LSU new associate athletic director, coming over from McNeese. He will join us in studio. We're looking forward to that conversation. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. By the way, just launched today, the Gordon Gives laptop giveaway is now live. Gordon does this every year around graduation. 15 graduating seniors, if you're going to college, trade school, Gordon gives 15 graduating seniors a MacBook or a laptop to help in your transition from high school to the next step of your education. So if you want to enter, it's easy. Go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. That's GordonGives.com. You can get there from GetGordon.com at the website as well. But you'll see how you can enter. There's also links on all the Gordon social media at GetGordon on any of the major social media accounts. So anyway, visit GordonsGrads.com, forgive me, is the website specifically for this giveaway. GordonsGrads.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Proud of the fight. Us playing good baseball, like that's my entire life, and boy, we sure did not do that early in the game, and that was not good. But players completely made a decision how they wanted the day to go today, and they made it happen. I'm really proud of them for that. And like I said about yesterday, what's true? What's true is we had a good win on Tuesday. We almost had the tying run to the plate against one of the best pitchers in the country on Friday. We had a shutout on Saturday, and we scored 17 runs on Sunday. So as we sit here today, that's what's true about our team. And it's also true we need to play better early in the game.
Jay Johnson, after LSU's series win over Kentucky this weekend, it's a huge series win. You know, there are, I often say, you know, two things can be true at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. It is true this was a huge series win for LSU. Being 4-5 through 3 weeks and one game under 500 is dramatically different than being 3-6 and 3 games under 500. You would have to sweep just to get back to even if you had lost on Sunday. And it looked like you were going to lose on Sunday when you were down 7-0 and you couldn't throw the ball over the plate. We've talked about this for several weeks now, the importance of the 2 home weekends against Oklahoma and Kentucky because of what's ahead. 3 of your next 4 are on the road. Again, it's true that you blew a save against Vanderbilt in game 1. You blew a save against Oklahoma in game 3. That's how slim the margin is. You were that close to being 6-3. You're also that close to being 3-6, and you kind of split the difference, and you're in the middle at 4-5. All these things are true at the same time. So it was massive to go out and get the series win, and you heard Jay say it. Yes, you darn near rallied and brought the time run to the plate on Friday. You had a 7-0 shutout win and a dominant performance on Saturday, and you rallied and scored 17 runs on Sunday. All those things are true. So, too, is it true that this team is flawed in every phase of the game. Like, flawed in a way that will cost this team its season at some point, wherever that is. It's just a matter of how close to their potential can they reach to delay that end of this season. As far as this weekend in particular, you look at Case and Evans, who a week ago against Oklahoma was so dominant. Gave you 7 2/3, struck out 15, didn't walk anyone until the last batter he faced. I said it last week that I don't expect Case and Evans to go strike out 15 every week. But what he showed you last week is he's capable of being a dominant Friday night starter in the SEC. Well, he didn't look like a dominant Friday night starter in the SEC this week. That was a guy with that performance who struggled with walks early, dug yourself a hole. He steadied himself, got you through 5 innings, and gave up 4 runs. You're going to win a lot of games in the SEC with a starting pitcher that gives up 4 runs and gets you into the 6th. But not whenever you're going against another team's ace. And that's the unfortunate part about what happened on Friday. You dug yourself too deep a hole. You weren't able to get all the way out. That's why I also think because you lost that game on Friday, Saturday became, to this point, the biggest game of the season. I'm not into hyperbole. I'm not telling you it's must win, any of that stuff. We've just been down this road too many times. We've talked about it. They were 3-12 at the halfway point 2 years ago, and they made the tournament. Like, it's a long season. It's 30 games. It's a marathon. It's an evolution. It's all the things we always say. But to this point, because of what we just explained, like, you couldn't win this series without winning on Saturday. You had to have Schmidt take the ball and go shove, and he did. Schmidt was awesome, gave way to Cowan, who was also awesome. I know some people said they shouldn't have gone to Cowan because you ended up burning him when he could have started for you in Game 3. Don't care. You had to win Game 2, and Cowan was your best guy. That is inarguable. Look at the struggles your bullpen has had at times throwing strikes. You cannot take for granted, with the benefit of hindsight, that you won 7-0 to say you could have thrown anyone out there and finished that game off. Really? Because I watched an LSU bullpen day on Sunday, walk 10, hit 2, and give up a 7-0 lead with allowing an infield single. 3 runs in the first on an infield single. None of the runs scored on a hit. Like, you mean to tell me that was just been a given? Jay Johnson knows his squad. Going with Cowan was 100% the right decision. It left you an opportunity with every other arm available to get through Sunday. You needed them all. But Schmidt, Cowan combined were awesome. And my hope is, moving forward, you don't need Cowan in either of the first 2 games, so you can see if you can give him the ball on Sunday or in a Game 3. But I don't know that that's necessarily going to be possible, because the way Jay is going to approach weekends is what we've seen from Jay his entire time here, because he hasn't had a number 3. It's, you're going to do whatever you can to win the first 2 games if you have an opportunity to win the first 2 games. And when you get to Game 3, you'll assess what you have left and make the best decision. So on Sunday, I love the decision to start Gavin Guidry. Look, if he wanted to go lefty, he could have gone Garcia. He went Guidry, the righty, who typically throws a lot of strikes and is a former infielder. He's a former shortstop who can field his position. You're going against a Kentucky team that likes to bunt, steal, hit and run, all that stuff. So you have a guy that's a good defender on the mound as well. Made a lot of sense. Guidry couldn't find the strike zone. Didn't make it out of the second inning. It sucks. Threw 39 pitches in the first. As we mentioned, the 3 runs they gave up in the first, none of them scored on a base hit. A team that struggles to hit the ball, you gave them base runners and opportunities all throughout the game. I will say how encouraged Sunday I was by Cooper Williams and by Sheeran and by Fontenot. because you can't come back from a deficit if you don't have pitchers that start throwing up zeros. Because if you keep giving up runs, it's just going to stockpile and compound on you. Well, you saw Cooper Williams come in, get the final out of an inning, and then get you a clean of the third, clean fourth. He did walk a guy, but struck out 2. And I loathed going to Maverick Rizzi in the 5th, especially when Williams was going well. The problem with Rizzi right now is he's not just missing, he's missing badly. And he's missing badly with fastballs. And he's a guy that I know the temptation, because you're looking at a dude that's 6'9" and can throw upper 90s and all that stuff for the reasons that make him so intriguing as a prospect, just like Chase Shores a year ago. But he's at a point now where you cannot trust him to consistently throw the ball over the plate, which means I can't put him in a high leverage spot anymore until he proves he's ready for it, which means he's got to throw in the midweek, see if he can find his location, find his command. And if he does, you can start to work him into leverage spots on the weekend again. But for now, for me, Rizzi has to be a midweek guy or an up 10, down 10 guy. I can't give him the ball in a leverage situation because he hasn't proven he can throw the ball over the plate. But Williams, Sheeran, Fontenot, all were outstanding and gave you the opportunity to get back into it. And what a redemption weekend for Seth Dardar. I mean, not only was it the home run with the massive bat flip and the double on Sunday, now leads the LSU team in doubles. But the fact that this was a guy that yours truly included had effectively thrown dirt on, looking and saying, I think you just have to chalk it up to a miss. He's not good defensively, which we knew, but he was hitting sub 200 in conference play. And you can't be a bad defender if you're hitting 350. I can take a mediocre, average to bad defender. But Dardar wasn't doing that. And this weekend, he went out there and absolutely raked. He was named SEC Player of the Week. Congrats to him because of the massive weekend where he hit 600 this weekend. And then the home run on Sunday, which gave LSU the 11-10 lead. This was Jay Johnson on Dardar's weekend.
I would love that weekend out of any player every weekend, and I respect the question. I'm proud of him. This matters a lot to him. You know, he's had some good moments so far this season, hit into some tough luck. I mean, he's actually taken some pretty good at-bats in some clutch situations and hasn't gotten rewarded for it. He's had the toughness to stick through it. I had a good conversation with him after the game yesterday, and just really proud of the weekend that he put together this weekend. That, you know, I mentioned with Zach yesterday throwing the ball the way that he is, like he did last year, that changes our team. Seth taking those at-bats really changes our team.
That's inarguable. The thing when you have a guy like Dardar have that weekend, what it does, it takes pressure off of Curiel and Milam and Brown, the guys that you're expecting to deliver. When you have Stanfield get on base 5 times on Sunday from the leadoff spot, when you have Dardar have the type of game or weekend he did, where he batted 600 with 4 doubles, a homer, 5 RBI, 4 runs scored, 3 walks. He was on base at a 692 clip. Couldn't get him out. Yes, that helps immensely to have a guy that you're not counting on to have a big weekend like that. It doesn't need to be Dardar every weekend. That just has to be in there where he can give it to you. Because there's going to be days or weekends where Milam and Brown and Curiel don't hit, and you need someone else to pick them up. And the more teams see Cerna, the more they're staying away from him. Brown, like the single Brown had on Sunday, was a great example of what Jake Brown is facing right now. Jake Brown's not slumping. Nobody's pitching to him. He might see a pitch a game that's worth swinging at. And the single he had was he just like reached out and touched a ball and dropped it over the shortstop's head in shallow left center. Beautiful, patient, team-oriented AB. It ain't what he wants. He wants to crush 450-foot homers. But when Dardar can do it, all you need to do is get on base. And so it was a great example of that this weekend. So, the big question left for this team is how much can they improve? There was just a lot of bad, man. 20 walks over the weekend. I mean, Muse and I were talking before we came on air today. It's like there was in the first inning when everything went sideways for LSU on Sunday, York had an opportunity, a pop foul bunt that was like line drive. York couldn't get to it. Dardar threw a ball in the dirt, would have been a double play ball in the second. York needs to. It's a bad throw by Dardar. York needs to be able to. You're an SEC first baseman. You got to pick that ball. He didn't. I mean, Cerna missed a sign. They got Curiel thrown out at second on a hit and run. I mean, Braun got thrown out at third. Curiel tried to steal third, straight steal third base, gets thrown out for the first out of the inning. Like, there's just a lot of bad with this team in every phase. And hopefully, before the season's over, they play to their max potential, because I'd love to see what that looks like. But right now, winning masks deficiencies. I'm glad they won. Certainly. But they got a long way to go before we can talk about this team as a good team, because right now they are not. But they desperately needed a series win at home. They got it, and now they're heading to Rocky Top to take on a Tennessee team that's real, and I think got walked off 3 straight games by Vanderbilt this weekend. Never easy in the SEC. And we will talk about Dardar's bat flip in a little bit as well. Brought to you by Evermore, EVA-MOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore. Great Louisiana product. Stay hydrated, y'all. Temps are rising, 80 degrees in Baton Rouge right now. Make sure you reach for delicious Evermore. It is clean, clear, crisp, delicious, better form of hydration, natural artesian water, and it is a Louisiana product. So support a great Louisiana company, Evermore. Buy it at great local retailers or online at evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Come back. Heath Schroyer is going to be in studio with us. We're looking forward to it. It's AFR.
AFR.
REV, let's rev. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Hey, listen, we're talking about home automation, your internet service provider, security, cable, phone. This is for your home or for your business. You want Rev. 90 years in our local communities. 90 years. Rev. R-E-V. Go to letsrev.com. 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 Rev has been great supporters of ours. And listen, I practice what I preach. At the Moscona House, we're Rev customers. At Parrish Construction and Roofing, we're Rev customers. Here at Guarantee Media, we are Rev customers. Baton Rouge, Gonzales, Prairieville, Plaquemine, Denham, Springfield, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Covington, Mandeville, LaPlace, Reserve, Thibodaux, Houma, LaRose, Grand Isle. Faster, more reliable internet. Speeds up to 5 gigs. Also advanced business class services that scale with your business's needs. Learn more. LetsRev.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Heck of a day for LSU athletics. Will Wade reintroduced as the head men's basketball coach. Heath Schroyer also introduced, new administrator at LSU, good enough to join us in studio. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Hey, I've just got to tell you, I listen to you all the time. I said this off the air. I think I finally made it. Like, I'm finally on the Matt Moscona show. This is unbelievable, dude.
It's like,
what a setup you got here.
Dude, it's like, I don't know, we got like Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
100%.
Ryan Seacrest, and then me.
100%, right? Man. I listen to you all the time. I'm like, oh, when you call me, I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it.
No, I appreciate it very much, man. And thank you for coming in studio, too.
For sure.
How, just give me a sense of what the last, what is it? 5 days, week, 2 weeks, month. What's this process been like?
It's crazy. You know, it's been great. It's like, drinking out of a fire hose, and I'm still trying to figure out where the bathroom is. And today I almost burned the building down because I was trying to make some coffee, and I put it in poured the water in the wrong thing, and then all was, smoke out there. And I'm like, this is just great. My first full day, and I'm going to burn the place down.
Which building?
The administration building. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, on the 6th floor. So like, there's so many, there's people there, and I'm like, hey, a cup of coffee, over there. So I go and I feel, there's a coffee machine. So, pour it up and walk out, and then I come back and I smell smoke, and they're like, hey, are you trying to make coffee? I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Are coffee machines, I mean, respectfully, are coffee machines that different in Baton Rouge than in Lake Charles?
No, hey, listen. Obviously, I'm not very bright. I've always prided myself, Matt, on surrounding myself by people that are a lot smarter than me, and that is a perfect case right there for that.
I can show you how to use a coffee pot if you need help with it, man. Hey, so listen, the title, like, I don't know how it's going to fit on your business card, but give me what is, people are going to ask, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, like, what are you going to do?
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, I really backfilled Verge's old job, right? That's really what it is. And, so I obviously help with Jason French in the president's office. And then obviously I, report to Verge as well. And, I'll oversee men's basketball and do some other things within the department. And so it's a lot, and obviously the great thing, and Verge has been so good. Like, he's been phenomenal with me, and and I'm really, really excited to work with him. And really, truth be told, I'm really just backfilling Verge's old job.
I want to get into some more of the specifics. We got you for a couple of segments. I'm going to get into some of the specifics of what you're going to be doing. But there's this, I know the stories that we've all told, and certainly over the last week, is the relationship you have with Dr. Roos and with Will Wade.
Sure.
I'd like to hear it from you. Maybe describe that relationship you have with each of them, either together or separately.
Well, I think it's probably better separately, just because, I mean, I worked hand in hand with Dr. Roos for, 6 years. I mean, we truly rebuilt McNeese together. And, and I really try to stay away from talking about the hurricanes and all that stuff, but we went 18 days, Matt, without running water and power. I was on the job for about 2 months, right?
Because you're for those who don't know, you were the basketball coach, the head basketball coach.
That's right.
And then transitioned into being the AD. This was 21, right? The end of 20.
It was 20, yes. 1920. So I was on the job a few months really, and then all of a sudden we get crushed by Laura and Delta, and I mean it was literally a war zone. I mean, if anyone needs to, you should go back and pull up Sports Illustrated during that time, because it was a cover of Sports Illustrated.
I remember.
And so we worked hand in hand together every single day to rebuild that university and obviously the athletic department. And he truly believed and still does that, athletics is the brand. I think he actually said that today in a press conference, that it was the brand to help rebuild the institution. So he and I are very, very close. And with Coach Wade, I mean, I've known Coach for a long time. I mean, he was at Tennessee Chattanooga when I was at Tennessee Martin, and I knew we needed to make a change, and I needed somebody at that point in time to come in and really galvanize our community, right, in Southwest Louisiana, and truly, get people to believe that they can do something that's never been done before. And and Coach's, obviously his past is his past and those things, and he and I had some very, very frank conversations. And when I hired him, we didn't know what the sanctions were going to be or if he was even going to coach again. And but Dr. Roos was 100% on board at that point in time too. And Coach and I have a great relationship. We worked hand in hand together to build the program at McNeese, and went obviously back-to-back championships and won the first game in the history of the school in the NCAA tournament. And but I will tell you this, he meant more to that community than just winning basketball games. He brought a community together, and and he truly bought in and embraced Lake Charles, just like he's embraced the state. I mean, you listen to the press conference today. He loves it here. I mean, this is his home, and so I have obviously a special relationship with both of them. Both relationships are very, very different. But both are really, really amazing people.
Did you think you would have this opportunity to reunite at LSU?
Not really.
Maybe a year ago when he left.
I don't think. I think that. Not really. I mean, it's one of those things. I think all those things had to line up, and do you think they're ever going to really line up like that? And but it's really unique and it's really special, and I think it's at some point someone will probably write a book about it. It's pretty cool.
Heath Schroyer is in studio with us. So specifically, your opportunity at LSU, how and when did that come together?
Yeah, well. Obviously when Verge, moved up into, the AD chair, he reached out to me, and we had some conversations about, backfilling his role, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and I had other opportunities and, other AD opportunities as well. And, But we kind of stayed in contact, periodically here and there. And then he talked to me about this role and backfilling his role, and he talked to me about different basketball coaches and things like that. Who do I like that's in the business, and those, we had some conversations, and then it really all just happened pretty quick, and then it was like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, when the opportunity to hire Will came and all this happened all together at once. Heath Schroyer is with us. We are going to talk specifically about the basketball program here in just a quick second. Well, I guess we can go there specifically with the basketball program. The giant question, listen, I asked Will that today at the press conference, is resources.
Yeah.
And how do you get the resources together? So actually, before I do that, I'll ask you maybe from an AD perspective. Mm-hmm. That sort of was your thing at McNeese, right? Mm-hmm. Was the sales, the corporate partnerships. Mm-hmm. Could you maybe define a little bit what makes you good at that, your ability to do that, and what you did at McNeese?
Well, I'm you could probably tell I'm a pretty forward-facing person, right? So, I love people. I understand how to bring people together, but also you have to have a vision and where we're trying to go, and people to jump on board and buy into a vision. We raise more money at it's all relative, right? So I say that all the time. I mean, we had $11 million in naming rights in 1 year, which was last year.
Compared to what would be
oh gosh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's. I want to say the last time they did it was probably at $1 million or so.
Okay, just for perspective.
Yeah, for perspective. And, so we brought all of our corporate sponsorships in. Again, it's very unique. But we brought all of our corporate sponsorships in-house, and all the corporate sponsorships ran through the athletic director. And then we ran all that. And again, Dr. Roos and I set that whole thing up. And we started the McNeese Athletic Foundation, and we ran our corporate sponsorships through that. So all the people going out, if you go into the arena, it looks like NASCAR. I mean, I've sold steps. The bottom of the chairs. I mean, there's nothing that is stationary that I didn't try to sell.
Hey man,
right?
You must love this studio. Look around, raising canes, Relief Windows, Evermore, Bud Light. We got it.
I'm telling you. I look around and I'm like, oh yeah, I love this guy. That's what I'm telling you. You've made my. I'm telling you, this is being on this show. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. But so we did all that, right? So we've raised. We've raised a lot of money. I'm not afraid of. It's really in my wheelhouse. I'm a very forward-facing person. Naturally, and So to answer your question from a resource standpoint, and Coach said this today. We didn't say, hey, you got this much money. Let's really build a really good team. Now, obviously, it's not an infinite amount of money, but we're LSU, and people are excited, and people want to get behind it. And when they believe in something, and you know this, man, you've been doing this a long time. When people believe in something, they're more apt to invest in it, right? But they got to believe it. You got to get to the people's heart and soul, and say, hey, I want to be a part of this. And I think that one thing Coach has done a really good job of, especially at McNeese and here, is he's embraced this culture. He's embraced people. People feel like he's one of them. And I think that it's the same thing that we're going to go out and do now. And just like LSU. I mean, look, LSU's LSU. It's one of the most iconic brands in all the world, and it's an honor for me to be here. And I can't wait to go sell it.
We're going to pick up specifically on selling LSU basketball in a second. Heath Schroyer's in studio with us. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Got to take 60 seconds to remind you about River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look around. You see the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. Y'all, it's 80 degrees in Baton Rouge. It is time to start thinking about your AC, right? You've already turned it on, but it's that time of year where the thing's going to be running around the clock. We're in at triple-digit heat index temps. I always say think of it like you wouldn't drive across the country without getting the oil changed in your vehicle. Don't go into a Louisiana summer without getting your HVAC unit cleaned, tuned up to be running at max efficiency for the warm weather months. If you can't remember the last time you had an AC tune-up, it's past due because you should do it every year as your seasonal maintenance. And River City's 1 Hour Air can help. Mention the show, mention the Moscona special, they'll knock $30 off the price. 752-0001.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Glad to have Heath Schroyer in studio with us. The business card will say Senior Deputy AD / Executive Director of External Relations for the LSU system. Brother, that ain't fitting on a business card. I mean, that's a lot. But the other thing we know that you will be doing is, correct me if I'm wording this wrong, but overseeing basketball?
Yeah, I basically, I'm basketball's direct report, right? Yes, so I mean that is that obviously is a responsibility of mine.
Would it be correct to say your job is to because we just talked about all the fundraising you did at McNeese, to fundraise for men's basketball?
I think I'm going to obviously help with it, but obviously LSU has an unbelievable staff. I mean, Clay and all those guys that I've already met do an unbelievable job, and the Play-Fly people do a great job. And, there's obviously mechanisms that are already in place. I just want to come in and help. And if there's donors out there or other things out there that are untapped, I want to be able to try to open some of those doors, but I also want to be able to just be another resource and help the team that's already there. So, I've been there for a day and a half, but I've been blown away by the staff at LSU that's already there, and Matt LeBorg and obviously Julie and Clay and Zach. I mean, those guys. I mean, they're just phenomenal people, and I'm excited to be on the team, and I'm I'm looking forward to bringing value to the team.
They've put together a staff, a lot of forward-thinking folks that are very good at their job, and they have been on the forefront of a lot of things through revenue share and NIL and all those sorts of things. If I asked you, and again, I know you've had conversations with Will, and you've only been on the job, would you say a day and a half? I guess it's Friday, but I guess when did you formally did you sign your term sheet Friday?
I signed the term sheet or whatever, but I'm not going to start official until later on, about a week from today or so.
Okay, so you're really not even officially on the job.
Yeah. I mean, just because, at the end of the day, I want to be able to, tie up loose ends at McNeese.
Sure.
Kind of like Dr. Roos did, right? I mean, he was here, but he went back and forth, for 10 days to 2 weeks and, tied up loose ends. And, I love McNeese, right? I love Southwest Louisiana. It's my home. It's crazy. I've lived there, Matt, 8 years, which is twice as long as I've lived anywhere in my life. Like Louisiana is home.
So you're from Maryland, though, right?
I'm from Maryland, yeah.
Originally, but
you've
moved
from Maryland.
So a lot of people know, after you coached a lot. So coaching people know is a transient business. You moved. You moved a lot.
Yes, I moved 9 different universities, and so in 25 years. So you can do the math, right? I mean, I was one of those guys that was climbing and chasing, and was a head coach multiple times, and then just fell in love with Lake Charles and really fell in love with Louisiana, the culture, and people told me when I moved here that you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, right? Like it's no gray. And I just absolutely embrace the culture. I love it. I remember the first time I ate crawfish, I'm like, what in the world are these things? Like, what is wrong with these people?
Go.
And now I'm just like, I'm sucking heads and I'm doing the whole deal. It's freaking awesome.
Do you wear gloves?
No, are you kidding me? Come on.
God. So our social media manager, Chris Marler, just moved here from Atlanta, and he's wearing gloves to eat crawfish. And I was like,
come on, dude.
And so I told him, I was like, no. That's like my 75-year-old mother-in-law is the only one that wears gloves. She's allowed, And so then I tell him this, and then he texts me on Friday. He's like, you're wrong, man. The gloves are the way to go. I was like, no.
Oh, no.
And so I tweeted, and knowing this, but he needed this medicine. I tweeted, at Chris says gloves is the way to go. I was like, I need your help with this.
That's so
awesome.
awesome.
Let him know your
That's
thoughts.
so awesome.
Hit him in the comments. And it was just, they were merciless.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing where, man, we don't mess around with that, right?
100%.
So I think that's the wake-up call he needed, right? Was to say, no.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Ditch the gloves, man. Ditch the gloves. All right, we got 60 seconds. We're going to break. Heath is going to hang out with us for another segment because I want to dive in a little bit deeper on the basketball program in the future and everything that you're going to be doing. But in 45 seconds or so, 30 seconds, thought on how today went. It was more pep rally than press conference. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And seeing Dr. Roos up there again, I mean, it just made me realize that he is the best leader I've ever been around. He's so phenomenal. And also, obviously I thought Verge did a great job too. And Will was excited and it was great. But, I will tell you, like, just for me being with Dr. Roos for, 6 years, seeing him in this element, what he's going to do for this entire system is going to be nothing short of amazing.
Heath Schroyer, let me knock out a break. SportsCenter's coming up. We're going to come back right after SportsCenter. Stay here.
After further review.
Speaking of crawfish, you can get crawfish at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Would you like the crawfish, or you like the transition, or you like Rouse's?
I like the official, right? We had official, barber, official liquor store, official. Come on, man.
This guy, I'm telling you, this guy knows. You want to sell for AFR? You want to come here and sell for the show? We can make a competitive offer, maybe not quite as nice as coaching or working with Will Wade at LSU, but Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com. They got 76 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and everywhere in between. So, you need to make your groceries with your mom and them? Go to Rouse's. Remember, download the Rouse's app. If you download the Rouse's app, go shop and spend over $30. The personal shopper, that's a free service. Pick out your items, pull up into a designated spot. They'll go shop for you. They'll bring it out to your vehicle. You can do all that for free on the Rouse's app. Just download the Rouse's app. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Check them out, y'all. It's Rouse's. This feels like home.